Alright. We're back. We've defeated Rom. Devin guy wants me to look at the trophy. The trophy says that Rom is a great one. We'll take a look at it. What? Defeat Great One, Rom, the vacuous spider. Like, my issue here is no Great One takes damage from kin up gems, but Rom does. Rom also drops us a kin cold blood. To me, like, I will die on this hill. Rom is not a great one. I just yeah, like, the orphan doesn't take damage against kin up. You know what I mean? Rom does. Celestial Emissaries does. These enemies that, like, we know are essentially man-made, ascended beings. They take damage from kin up. Attack kin up. And then, like, the orphan doesn't. The wet nurse doesn't. I don't know if I would even. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was like, I don't even know if I would consider the great one, the nurse, a great one. But yeah, I guess, because, like, what the fuck else is it? You guys trust the translation team? I mean, like, we have to. What else, you know what I mean? What else would we do? Who else can we trust? So now we've made our way back into Yahar Ghoul, the Unseen Village. We get a hell of a greeting upon showing up. But they're dead and will probably never come back again. Also, the moon, noticeably different. Also, the fact that we now have all this insight means that we are now privy to seeing the amygdala. Which is, like, that's the best kind of, spooky horror, in my opinion, is, like, the contemplation of, like, were those things always there and I just couldn't see them? I love it. I love it. The Unseen Village, when we came here the first time, it was a great place to get twin bloodstone shards. Now that we revisit, it becomes a great place to get bloodstone chunks. So we see these folks all over the place, with their heads in these cages. Now we've seen them before, I think. They're here the first time you come here, right? Right? But this is a pretty stark scene. No, Great Ones don't take kin up damage. Because, like, they're different. They're, like, the game calls them brethren. You know? They're cousins. But they're not the same thing. We get the Iron Yahar Ghoul helmet, which we already kind of have. Iron helmet worn by hunters of the Unseen Village. Removing the hood reveals something reminiscent of a warrior of a previous age. This headwear is made of metal, a rarity for hunter garb, and has high defense, but only against physical attacks. My vit is so low because we haven't leveled it up. We've only leveled up our strength and skill. Ow. And only by a few points. Just enough points to use the Moonlight sword. So these Yahar Ghoul dudes, they don't like us. And they keep getting resummoned by this lady ringing this bell. If we take her out, her little cronies become much less powerful. Also, they can't respawn. The amygdala here still tries to grab us. However, if this one grabs us, it doesn't transport us anywhere. It just frenzies us. Being that close to it frenzies our blood. Which starts to make sense of all the frenzied cold blood we've been finding throughout the game. Like, we're finding all this frenzied cold blood, and we're like, why? Why are we finding this frenzied cold blood everywhere? And it's essentially like anything that's been picked up by an amygdala could, you know, like have had its blood frenzied. The lore of the amygdala. I like the idea that the amygdala are like cosmic janitors. They put things where they're supposed to be, in accordance to the will of the Great Ones. If you have a blood drunk eye, for example, they'll teleport you to the Hunter's Nightmare. That's where you're supposed to be because you're blood drunk. If you have the Tonsil Stone, they'll teleport you to the lecture hall. Because, like, that's, you know, some sort of bizarre-ass public transit system, I guess. I don't know. Here, like, what are they doing? Like, all they do is grab people and frenzy them. And try to kill you. For being here. It's like they know that you're not supposed to be here, I guess. I don't know. The Unseen Village was founded by the School of Mensis. It's possible that they are like they've reached some sort of agreement with the amygdala. because the amygdala don't seem bothered by anybody but us. Could you tank one hit and toggle escape into Firestorm? Yeah, but like you can interrupt Firestorm, you know? Like it might work occasionally, but like if I hit you and if a bad player hits you, if a bad player hits you, they're going to keep swinging, right? So if you toggled that and then tried to cast Firestorm, they're just going to interrupt it. If you hit a good player and a good player sees you toggle and then sees you try and cast Firestorm, they're just going to interrupt you, you know? It's one of those things where you sort of outthink your opponent in a meaningless way. Because the game, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's like a double meaning to like absolutely everything in this game. The amygdala in the brain is sort of like the fear response center of your brain, if I'm not mistaken. And that's fine, and that's, you know what I mean, like that's cool. But the term amygdala goes back further than that. Where like in Latin it just meant almond shaped. And so like anything almond shaped would be referred to as amygdala. So like your tonsils, like tonsils back then were considered amygdala. So the idea that we get a tonsil stone from patches, and the tonsil stone is what allows us to interact with the amygdala. I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. I'm saying that like they're both right on purpose. There's so much like double entendre shit in everything that like every game that Miyazaki makes is full of it, and Bloodborne is no exception. One thing that I had not considered is that the amygdala here are perhaps gathering people. Maybe there are so many amygdala here because this is where they dump folks off. Maybe the Bell Maidens are able to summon those that the amygdala have grabbed. Because all of these enemies are, like, you know, these are Yarnamites and Hemwick citizens. I think the Mensis ritual succeeded in breaking into the nightmare, which allowed the lesser amygdalae and Bell Maidens to kind of take over the place. Sort of like it opened the door both ways. Whoa. I've never noticed that. He's like sitting down and chilling. I've never noticed that. People want me to ask you why you aren't into first-person games. Don't know, just not. Even games like that are better first-person, I still don't play first-person. Like Morrowind. It's hard to explore this area because the enemies keep respawning. So let's put a stop to that. Now, I like Devin's idea. I like Devin's idea that the ritual worked, and now the amygdala and the Bell Maidens are able to like infiltrate Yahar Ghoul. But I'm also liking this idea that like that's done on purpose. Like the School of Mensis wanted that. They didn't just want access into the nightmare. They wanted access, like they wanted access for the nightmare to come out as well. So this is a choir. We've talked about this before. One of my favorite things about Bloodborne is the fact that the bodies that we see are dressed, and it gives us an idea of like their allegiance and what have you. This is obviously a choir member who's been put in a cell, and they have an upper cathedral key. The upper echelons of the Healing Church are formed by the School of Mensis, based in the Unseen Village, and the choir, occupying the upper cathedral ward. This key brings one a step closer to the choir. So, in the foundation of the Healing Church, we basically were like, yeah, we want to keep doing what Willem's doing, but we think in order to do it, we have to use the blood. So they start using the blood. But they kept doing the work that Willem was trying to do, with eyes and ascension and all of this. And you had two segments of that work being done by the School of Mensis and the choir. And apparently, on top of the original schism between Bergenworth that led to the foundation of the Healing Church, I would definitely say it seems like the School of Mensis has gone rogue. Here we grab the tiny Tonitrus, which is a hunter's tool. Tonitrus is a unique weapon crafted by Archibald, the infamous eccentric of the Healing Church workshop. This is a similar Morning Star mace that utilizes quicksilver bullets. When struck into the ground, it recreates the blue sparks that are said to surround the dark beasts. Like Archibald's masterpiece, this too is a superb conductor of the powerful blue sparks. So now that we've killed the Bell Maiden, she can't respawn those enemies over and over again. Look how big the moon is. Now, we've seen this statue a lot, but I don't remember seeing, like, the things crawling on top of it before. Ooh. Hey, what's up, Nova Trance? Thank you for the gift subs. Actual Cat Pants and Cucumbers Gaming. Enjoy your emotes. Welcome. They do kind of look like messengers, yeah. So we get this proto-Medeer laser fired at us here. And the Medeer laser will, it will destroy those enemies up there, but it doesn't care about them. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't target them like it does us. Like, those ladies can hang up there. Those ladies can hang up there all they want, and the laser, you know, the amygdala doesn't shoot its laser at them. Then, when we show up, it starts shooting the laser, and it will kill indiscriminately. It doesn't give a shit who it kills, but it only fires when we're there. And then this is where it gets a little, like... like, the little kid in the Mensis cage is like, alright, now we're beyond effed up. Actual Cat Pants, thank you for the gift sub. Paying it forward to Nazarius75. Enjoy your emotes. Welcome. And Actual Cat Pants, thank you so much. This is potentially the hardest part of the level right here, is these two dogs. A lot of times when the game shows us, when the game gives us items like this, it's because it wants to show us something. If I'm not mistaken, that is a door that we've opened, and I think it's showing us. I think that's what we're supposed to be like. Oh, right, I remember opening that door. And here we come to the realization, like, oh yeah, we've definitely been here before. However, our lamp has been messed with. Our lamp has been destroyed. Which is interesting because this is the only time that it happens. And you have to ask yourself, like, how many people can see the lamps? The messengers show themselves to us because we have a contract with the moon presence, regardless of whether or not we wanted it. The messengers will show up and take us places. But why has no one else thought to, you know, destroy our means of getting around? So here we have 3 Yahar Ghoul hunters. Now we've already fought a couple of these things, but now they're back here. Oh, snap. Now, these guys don't respawn, thankfully. So if we can take out one, you know, you're doing them one at a time. It counts as progress, you know. Oh shit, he lived. Oh, damn it. I've got all the hyper armor in the world, I just don't have the hit points to back it up. Alright, now that we've killed 2 of them, the hardest part, again, is getting past the dogs. It's interesting how they gave plunge attacks a sweet spot. And by interesting, of course, I mean bad. Now that there's only one. Try something a little more quiet. Should have kept swinging there. Oh, I can't believe that missed. Just don't shoot me with that cannon, bro. What? Get off me. So they drop us these enemies that we've killed. They drop us Claw Mark, 20 Quicksilver bullets, and a Madman's Knowledge. I think he dropped us a Madman's Knowledge because he's supposed to drop us something we already have. I think? Or maybe we picked it up and I didn't think about it. What's the lore on these three bastards? Why is one of them naked? I mean, he's just, you know, they're all crazy people who hunt people. They're not in their right mind, you know? So if we come back here and we check this place out, it originally had witches in it. Now it's full of these things. Now these things have the same attack pattern as werewolves. They can drop bloodstone chunks. They can also drop twin bloodstone shards. An interesting pet theory that I have is that, like, maybe that's what werewolves look like, but we don't get to see it until after the blood moon. I don't actually believe that theory. I just like it. These enemies are very obviously similar to the cramped casket enemies that we met the first time that we came through here. We'll meet them this time. They're very similar to the cramped caskets. So, like, it just makes sense that they're just some sort of, like, necromancy gone wrong. Ow. And everywhere we find a bagman, we will now find a bloodstone chunk. So, like, this place was full of bagmen the first time we came here. They're the reason we actually came here the first time. Now, all of the bagmen are dead, indicating that, like, there's something else going on. This isn't about, like, the bagmen anymore. And I guess maybe it sheds a little more light on madmen toil surreptitiously in rituals to beckon the moon, uncover their secrets. These madmen have toiled surreptitiously to beckon the moon, and I think we've kind of done it for them, which is starting to be a recurring theme in From Software games with Hamatane as developer. Like, we do that in Sekiro as well. Like, we sort of inadvertently help the ministry, the syndicate. We kind of inadvertently help them. Because Genichiro's stupid ass leads Sekiro on, like, a merry chase where Sekiro undoes everything that the Ashina have put in place to protect themselves from the Ministry. So now we've got, like, just a body on fire with magic. And behold, a Paleblood sky. Starts to make a little more sense.
This town's finished.
Let's grab this shortcut, and then I want to do something that I haven't done yet. I forgot to do it. I thought they said you Arabian rat, and I was like, wow, these Yarnamites are pretty racist. I mean, you're still not wrong. Maybe not racist, that's not the right word, but they're definitely xenophobes. So, we came through here when we fought Parl earlier. Now that I've unlocked that shortcut and I've made some progress in Yahar Ghoul, I don't care to do this. If we come through here, where Yahar Ghoul is attached to Old Yharnam, we can sort of sneak in the back door. And if we sneak through the back door, we don't upset Jura, because he doesn't see us. Now, I still don't like to kill any beasts on my way to him, just in case, because he does have, like, some Hawkeye vision shit going on occasionally. I'm not sure why that enemy just died, but I'm not happy about it. Also, there's absolutely no escaping the sound of the crying baby now. There's hard insight, and then there's soft insight, and then there's story insight. And at a certain point, like, there's no getting away from insight events, because you've crossed a threshold in the story, like in the lore. Does Parl despawn if you killed Rom? No. I love this NPC. I love him. I love his voice actor. I love everything about it.
Well, well. How did you get in here? It's no matter. What brings you to Old Yharnam? I've no interest in matters further up. But you must not disturb this place. The beasts do not venture above, and mean no harm to anyone. If you still insist on hunting them, then I will hunt you first. You understand me?
I understand. I will spare the beasts of Old Yharnam.
Yes, very good. I no longer dream, but I was once a hunter too. There's nothing more horrific than a hunt. In case you fail to realize, the things you hunt, they're not beasts. They're people. One day you will see. It's time you got going. But first, a farewell gift. I have no use for it anyway.
And he gives us a powder keg hunter badge. He tells us that he no longer dreams, but that he was once a hunter too. Which checks out because we can summon him with an old hunter bell, and you get old hunter bells in the dream. So he has some like idea of what's up with the dream and all that. And then he tells us that the beasts aren't, you know, like they're people. They're people, and he's right. Like they're, you know, that's what Yharnam did to its citizens. It turned them into beasts. So he gave us the powder keg hunter badge. The powder keg's adoration of complex design and big booms culminated in weapon designs that contrast with those traditionally of the workshop. Keep in mind that traditionally the workshop produced weapons that were low-key. Like at the start of the hunt, we wanted weapons that were low-key. Weapons that could sort of pass as... you know, like, oh yeah, well, he's got a scythe, but yeah, who doesn't? You know, you need a scythe. You gotta use a scythe to get rid of the weeds or whatever. You know, yeah, he's got a saw, but who doesn't have a saw? Everybody's got a saw. Oh, what's that? His saw like turns into a sword. You know, those types of weapons that we could kind of like excuse in society, and the powder kegs were like, nah, fuck that. Big cannon. The late powder kegs, bless their souls, had a motto: if a weapon ain't got kick, it just ain't worth it.
What is it? Surely I need not repeat myself. Go, I say. You have the whole night to dream. Make the best of it.
I hate to do this to you, bud, but I want your armor.
Is it the blood, or are you just raving mad? When the frail of heart join the fray, the hunter becomes the hunted. You're the beast. Just think about what you're doing. It's utter madness.
That's such a good... The delivery on that line is so good. It's utter madness. Look at me. Look at me. I am Jura now. I love how it's got a briefcase full of ammo. That's like, come on. A briefcase just full of bullets.